The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers Cable or Rogers TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of At the Heart of Business, a conversation with women in business discussing their challenges and successes. I'm your host, Judith Tate, and I'd like to welcome my first guest today, the Pink Coach, Claudine Pereira.
Thanks, Judith. Thanks for having me here. I'm so excited. Been wanting to be on your show for a long time.
I know.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
Yay, she's finally here.
Finally here.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And Claudine Claudine was my coach. Long time ago when I started in business, very new in business. And oh man, like
that was memories.
Yeah.
Memories.
And Claudine was just amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Really had a profound impact on my business and life. So
bless you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
So tell us about the Pink Coach.
So we've just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in business, which is amazing. So thank you for being part of my journey. It was a joy to coach you as always. So in September we just celebrated 10 years. I started out doing purely business coaching, so coaching entrepreneurs how to grow their business, and then slowly morphed into the leadership side of coaching and consulting. Okay. So we work with entrepreneurs, we work with leaders in corporations that have teams, up and coming leaders, in our My Rising Stars program, and so we sort of cover all of those pieces in business.
Okay, Your Rising Stars program. I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, so it's for up and coming leaders. Yeah. So if you have leaders in your organization or people that you've sort of earmarked or tapped on the shoulder for leadership, then you hire me to go through my leadership program with them to prepare them for becoming a leader. So called it Rising Stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like a stepping stone to get you into leadership.
Okay.
Yes.
And is that where your book, The 7 C's of Leadership, came from? Is that how that?
Kind of.
Right. We can talk about that after.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it has a whole story of its own, this little masterpiece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us, why did you go into coaching? And what makes you different as a coach? Because coaching, there are so many coaches.
There's a lot of us. There's a lot of coaches. So I'll sort of take you back. If you read the book, there's a piece in there about my early leadership days in dancing in the UK. When I was 13 years old, went into Mo's Place. My mother took me in there because I was very shy and lacked confidence. So those are my very early leadership days. I used to teach some of the little young ones. Nice. And then I got into my corporate career, and that's where I stayed as a leader for nearly 20 years. Yeah. So when the Pink Coach was born in 2014, I kind of just started out really wanting to serve and wanting to make coaching accessible. That was a big piece of my why. People get into business for money, for accolades, and those are all lovely and we need money. But I really got into this to be of service to others. I really wanted to be able to serve, share my knowledge, and hey, if I made money at the same time, that would be great. But I wanted coaching to be accessible because it's expensive. Yeah. So, I kind of kept my prices low, opened the doors, and off we went.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And you're right where, coaching can be very, expensive. And
yes.
I know you made it very accessible for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but for me it was very accessible.
Yes.
And you got me started.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's, you asked me why, I'm different.
Yeah.
And I kind of go, okay, different. But I suppose my approach is one of, I'm very hands-on, so I'm very interactive with my clients. I don't just leave you high and dry between sessions. You have access to me. So little things like that add a bit of value, and to really just get people started on their way, as you said.
Yeah, that's great. So what should people look for when they're looking for a coach?
So I think first of all, you need to think about, why do you want coaching?
Yeah.
What is it in your business or your life, or as a leader or up and coming leader? What do you need? What do you want your end result to be? because there's many of us out there. So my speciality might not be what you need. So for example, you might need a fitness coach because you're, you know, looking to improve your, you know, your running style, and that's not me.
Yeah.
Although I do relate my coaching to that of being an athlete. My work is really the longer journey. It's not just for the now and in this moment, it's for everything that you're going to do, you know, in the next year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
So you really need to think about what it is that you need to find that right person for you, because we're all different.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always thought it's, you know, when you're going into business,
Right.
it's good to get a coach that really, well, they understand your industry.
Exactly.
And they're successful themselves.
Right.
And so just so that they know how to help you. So
Yeah.
what are some things that people can do to ensure that you are the right coach?
For sure. So I know when people come to me, the first thing I ask them is, you know, how did you find out about me?
Okay.
I get a lot of people from Google that have Googled, you know, business coach in
Really?
Durham. Yeah, and I come to the top of the list.
Okay.
So, you know, I always say, have you done your research? You know, you can read all my testimonials on Google. I think I have around 71 right now, and people can't lie on Google.
Yeah.
You know, check out my website. And I think, you know, you got to do your research, and I think you made a very good point there in terms of what does the success of the person look like?
Yeah.
What are people saying about them? Are they online? Does their presence match online when you meet them in person? Do they come
Yeah.
across as genuine? You know, what are they charging? What are their payment plans like? So
Yeah.
you've got to really dig in. And I always say, you know, if somebody comes to me for a consultation, you know, I try and give as much information as I can in that time that you can walk away with things that you can implement right away in your business. I say, have you talked to other coaches? Make sure that you talk to other people, because again, my consultation is also making sure that you're a fit for my style.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
And I think another thing I've heard too is people say, I know you and I know your clients in Durham,
Yeah.
and you work with a lot of successful business owners. Like I look at you, for example, and you know, you started with me, 8-9 years ago, and look at you now,
Yeah.
you know, running a successful, you know, TV show, your podcast, everything you're doing as you know, as a business coach and a leader
Yeah.
is unbelievable. So obviously
Oh, thank
coaching
you.
does work.
Yes.
She's prime example of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. You're so sweet. So how did you come up with the pink coach? And you're always in pink, and you look
I know.
amazing in pink.
Thank you.
I love it.
Well, I didn't. When I started the business and I was looking to register the business name, Igor, who does all my websites and design, and
Oh, yeah.
he said, I don't like any of those. He's Russian, so I won't imitate his accent, but he says, I don't like any of those names. I said, why?
hilarious.
He said, we're going to call you the pink coach. I said, I don't like it. He said, yes, but you're going to like it. Because, and he was very smart, because it said it opens doors, right? Opens
Yeah.
conversations, because people say, so what do you do again? What is the pink coach?
Yeah.
I've just been referred to somebody to do a radio interview.
Nice.
This gentleman has a radio show on online somewhere, and he says, so what do you do exactly? And it's good, because then it gives me a chance to talk to them and say exactly what is the pink coach, what do I do?
Yeah.
As much as I love to wear pink and I'm vibrant, but
Yeah.
you know, what is that behind that name? So I didn't come up with the name, so there we go.
Oh, okay, there
Big
you go.
shout out to Igor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Igor.
Good job, Igor.
So but that really works for you.
Yes, it does. It has worked.
Did you look at, you know, I guess the color meaning? Because you know how they say colors have certain meanings or vibes or whatever?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
did you look into that at all?
So, to be honest, I didn't. He said to
okay.
me, you know, Igor was my dance instructor, so we danced together, we partnered together in ballroom and Latin dancing. He knew I love vibrant colors. Any costumes I wore were very vibrant and loud. And he said, that's your color, that speaks to you, your passion, you know,
Nice.
your inspiration, you know, like your knowledge. And so that's really as far as we got with that. And my brand has really not changed over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, we've spiffied up the hashtag, you know, for my sweaters and things like that. Now we've got my 10-year, you know, I'm in my 10th, going into my 11th year. We've got a new website coming out called ClaudinePereira.com. So if you go to the pinkcoach.com and you click on leadership or speaking, it takes you to ClaudinePereira.com. So it's like a little offshoot almost. And we'll have the, you know, the book is everywhere, but that will be for sort of leadership and speaking. But other than that, we've really kept, it's kind of like Coke when you think about Coke.
Yeah.
We're allowed to talk about that. They've always been Coke, but then they've got all these little sub-brands underneath, like Dr. Pepper and Sprite that are subsidiaries. So that's kind of how I've always kept my main brand the main brand.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, yeah, your brand, it's very strong, and it's the Pink Coach, very
has
simple,
a life
but very
of its
strong.
own.
Yeah.
Like I'll see people out in networking and say, "Oh, I saw you. Do you sleep? I saw you online. You're all over the place." I'm like, and I don't know them, but that means the lady that, Tammy, who does my social media, does an excellent job.
Yeah.
And, Igor has done a fantastic job of my brand. And I just kind of show up, even though I'm just,
that's awesome.
I feel like it just stands on its own. And that's something to think about if you're out there wondering about your brand presence. You've got to just really make it authentic in you.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
You can get hung up on all the color things, and that's fine, but go with your gut. I've always gone with my gut.
Good. So tell us about your book journey. Let's talk about that.
Oh my God, my book journey started probably in around 2018-19, just before the pandemic hit. I had started to write a book, which is still there. I don't know what's going to happen with it now, called Everything for the Everyday Entrepreneur, and it was about the entrepreneurial journey. So that was where I started. Then COVID hit, and I kind of just shelved it. Just wasn't feeling it. Something didn't seem right. And then through my leadership journey with a lot of my clients, I'm like, things just kept coming to me, and I was asked to do a keynote for a large insurance company about leadership. And that's how the 7 C's was sort of born. And then I started to pen the book. So it was a year in the making. It was a tough year. It was a fun year. It was hectic. If you've ever written anything before, it's a lot of work, and I get writer's block because everything gets stuck in my head. So I would use different tools that I would speak to get it out of my head that would transcribe for me. So that's kind of where it started. And the 7 C's of leadership mastery is really about your journey, and you might not have leader in your title, but we all have leadership within us. And that's really what I wanted to do in this little book, is to encourage and to give you some of my 25 years of leadership insights that you can apply to wherever you are in your life or your journey.
Oh, that's great. I love it. So can you tell us what the 7 C's are, or do you just want people to get the book and figure it out
get the
themselves?
book, obviously, would be lovely. But there was a few. I chose the 7 words with the letter C that I thought were the most important in leadership. Now, you could probably add to that.
Yeah.
Some of the ones I talk about are credibility. Right. So, for example, you're a credible leader in everything that you do and everything you've always done in your career and as a businesswoman. You have credibility. And I would not say there's one more important than the other, but there are a few that stand out that I talk about. Communication as a leader, very important. Customer experience, compassion as a leader, and empathy. So those are a lot of the things I talk about. And really, the book was born for, you stick it in your bag. It's a short read. It's a quick read. There's some quotes in there. There's my favorite songs in the chapter. There's a little action plan at the end of every chapter, because there's always homework, as you know.
Oh, good.
So there's a little action plan that you can just write, and you can pen. You can be on the subway or on a bus or on a train.
Oh, good.
And you can read it in any particular order. Has a little bit of my life journey in the beginning, and really it's just about making it your own.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So what words of advice do you have for women starting in business?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, first of all, number one, ignore the naysayers.
Yes.
Ignore the naysayers. Just let go of the naysayers, people that tell you can't do it. I was told so many times I can't do it. Ignore them and follow your gut and go in your own direction. And really just be you. Just be you. Everyone else is taken. And don't compare yourself to others in your industry, because we're all doing it differently. Comparison is a thief of joy.
It is. Thank you so much, Claudia.
Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.
Yes, it's been wonderful having you.
Thank you.
And stay tuned. We'll be speaking with Alicia Vienga of After Breast Cancer next.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
Piece by piece, Watch Piece by Piece at home. From revolutionary artist Pharrell Williams, experience a movie unlike anything you've ever seen.
Music was mesmerizing to me.
And that became my superpower.
With the biggest star-studded lineup in the Lego universe.
That's incredible.
That's Corral on the hood. I was always a bad gangster, but you brought out a smile.
Look what we can do when we come together.
Piece by Piece.
This is Rogers TV.
Hello and welcome back to At the Heart of Business, a conversation with women in business discussing their challenges and successes. I'm your host, Judith Tate, and my next guest is Alicia Vienga, founder and executive director of After Breast Cancer. Welcome, Alicia.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this beautiful couch.
It's a pleasure to have you. And I'm just in awe of everything that you're doing. Like, I met you, oh my goodness, probably maybe a month ago. And I'm thinking, wow, how have I never met this lady before? She's so powerful. So tell us about After Breast Cancer and how and why it started.
Powerful is a very strong word. And yes, it is lovely meeting you as well. And After Breast Cancer is a Canada-wide charity that supports women who is going through breast cancer. And it started with just the fact that I've seen so many women with socks and rocks and tissues in their bra, and they just couldn't afford to have the basic things that they need after they've been diagnosed with breast cancer. And I think sometimes as women, when we see something, we need to do something about it.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm not a breast cancer survivor, but I just don't believe that you have to be that to do something. You just need to be able to pick yourself up and see where the needs are and do something about it.
Yeah, that's what I found really fascinating about your story, because that was my first question. Like, after we met, I thought, oh, I wonder if she's a breast cancer survivor. And then you said that you were, and I thought, wow, not a lot of people do that. So why? Because as you said, like, sometimes you just see that something needs to be done, so you just, jump into action and do it. Why this cause and not say something else?
Yeah, and I think it is important when you're doing something, you feel passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yes, I could have chosen any other cause, but my business is about helping women to thrive, helping women to feel beautiful about themselves.
Yeah.
And when a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer, the chances of her feeling beautiful about herself is slim. It's not there. So my goal is to make sure that she is going through that process of feeling beautiful about herself. And that's what After Breast Cancer it is about. It's not too often you hear the breast cancer or cancer and celebration in the same sentence. And that's what we thrive to do at After Breast Cancer. So I think finding something that you're passionate about. And yes, I understand that most people would not go out and start a charity like After Breast Cancer, but I also believe that we all have our part to play in this big mosaic, in this big puzzle, and every little piece is important. Like even today, this interview is important, is a piece of that puzzle that makes After Breast Cancer what it is today.
Yeah. So how, because you mentioned that it helps women to feel beautiful. Tell us how you do that.
So not every woman that gone through breast cancer will have reconstruction. So sometimes they would go through, have a single mastectomy or a lumpectomy or a double mastectomy. The women who have insurance are able to go out and purchase their prosthesis and their mastectomy bras to feel beautiful about themselves, so that you can't even notice that they are a breast cancer survivor, or they're missing a breast or two breasts. So we provide that. We provide the prosthesis. We provide the mastectomy bras of no cost to them after they have been diagnosed with breast cancer at no out-of-pocket cost. So if they don't have insurance, that's where you would find the women, and we are so resourceful. That's where I mentioned earlier on with the rocks and the socks and the tissues and whatever it is, rice that they use, they sew things, they do all kinds of stuff. So those things don't make a woman feel beautiful, right? So.
Wow. Did you know someone personally that went through that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But through my business as a certified fitter, I got to see a lot of women.
Okay.
But most of the women that I saw was women who had the insurance, and they come in and they walk out, yes, feeling beautiful about themselves, feeling like, okay, my clothes fit now. I could go to the events. I don't have to walk around in the middle of the summer with a sweater draped over my shoulders because I'm hiding that missing part of my body. Okay. So yes,
that's pretty amazing. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Pink Diamond Gala, which you had recently. You have that every year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The After Breast Cancer Pink Diamond Gala, it is our signature event.
Yeah.
And it is held the last Sunday every year, the last Sunday in September. Okay. And this year we shine a light a bit on male breast cancer. Because a lot of times people just think of breast cancer and it's a women's disease. Yeah. But no, breast cancer doesn't discriminate.
Yes.
It doesn't care if you are what color your skin are, what your education is, what your background is. If you're male, you're female, you're a doctor, a lawyer, a president. It doesn't care who you are. It touches all of us. And so this year we had Matthew Knowles, which is Beyonce's dad. He is a breast cancer graduate. We call them graduate, or survivors. And he was our keynote speaker at the Pink Diamond Gala. So it was really awesome to shine a light on male breast cancer in that sense as well. And to have somebody of his status in life to take on the role of talking about breast cancer and male breast cancer, because sometimes even in the male as male, it is very difficult sometimes to think about yourself as a breast cancer survivor and the shame that could come with that. And it's the same thing too in certain communities, right? It is still very difficult to talk about breast cancer, especially in the Black community as well too, because we associate that to shame or something that we did. You know, it's like, what did I do? You know, to get breast cancer. You didn't do anything. So yes, the Pink Diamond Gala, we average around 700 people every year.
Nice.
Come together to celebrate life, to celebrate the opportunity to grow and to live after breast cancer.
Oh, that's great. So as a business leader in the community, what's next for you?
Oh my goodness. Apart from growing after breast cancer, I'm also seeking a nomination for the Conservative Party in Pickering, Brooklyn. Yay. So I'm really excited about that because I think there is a lot of things that we need change. We need to fix in government, and I think it is important to have grassroots people like myself who's on the ground, who live that life, who understand what community is about, what changes is about, that will affect people's life on a larger scale. So I'm really excited about that. My political life. I've been in the political atmosphere for a couple of years now, but it's I'm excited about this nomination.
Oh, that's great. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. So if anybody is out in Pickering or in Brooklyn, they could certainly reach out to me and support me through that as well.
Okay, excellent. Are you able to talk about the types of changes that you are hoping to make or wanting to make?
I do. Again, I am so passionate about the healthcare system.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm so passionate that I think there is a lot of holes that is there in the healthcare system. For me, my biggest thing when it comes to healthcare is women, we know our bodies. We don't need people to tell us that we have to wait until we are 40 years old to get a mammogram. You know, as I said earlier on, breast cancer doesn't discriminate. 50% of the women who is on the After Breast Cancer program are 40 and under, right? So why is it that someone, and I'm so proud of the Ontario government for creating the fact that women now could just go and get a mammogram, but I still think that gap needs to be removed fully. Our immigration needs help. It's a challenge when it comes to small business. I'm a small business owner, and I see how much we struggle. Yes, we talk about the small businesses are the engine that runs this country, but yet we are stepped over and we are overlooked, and we need a lot of support, especially though after coming out of this pandemic, a lot of small businesses, mom and pop, they've lost their businesses, right? And they're struggling. So what are we doing to help them? So those are some of the things that I'm really passionate about. Yes, we talk about axing the tax, making life more affordable for people on a larger scale. So
well, if I lived in Pickering or Brooklyn, I would nominate you for sure.
Move on over. Come on.
I'll move just for you.
Yes, get your address there and move. But you have to be a member of the party as well too, and you have to live in the riding for a bit to be able to come out. And,
Yes. I remember you and I had that conversation about politics. I'm like, yeah, you really need to educate me because there's not enough I know about politics, but I'm getting more interested now because of you.
No, thank you. That is awesome. I think it's politics is on one thing, but I think community is really big. For me, it is. Politics aside, I believe in community. I believe in grassroots. I believe in doing things for people on the ground level. And that's where you see the biggest change. And sometimes that's where politicians overlook is the people, the grassroots level, and I'm hoping to make a difference there.
Yeah. Oh, I believe you will. So, have you faced any challenges in this, in the pursuit of this nomination?
There's always challenges, but I also think there's a lot of opportunity and beautiful things that I have encountered. Because talking to people, educating people about politics and about the rules, because most people just know when an election is called and that's it. They see somebody's face on the ballot or on a lawn, or they get a card in the mail, and that's it. They don't know about the process before that in selecting a candidate and nominating a candidate. Listening to issues as well too, because issues are different. You know, issues in Pickering, issues in Brooklyn is a little bit different as well too. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much. I wish you luck. All the best. I know you're going to do well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for believing in me. And I believe I will do well as well too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, me too. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on another episode of At the Heart of Business.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
more.